Hey guys, it's Captain Forrest here, and today I'm back with a spicy Marvel Inverse matchup. In this video, I've got Spider-Man versus Ironfist from Marvel 616. Now before I start this video, please check out the links in the comment section and the description. Shoutouts to the coffee shop gang, shoutouts to Splash, shoutouts to everyone else, shoutouts to Dio, he also helped me with the Spider-Man stuff. Shoutouts to Korin O'Keefe as well, some of the stuff has also helped as well for Ironfist, and shoutouts to Debater, he also implemented stuff in this video too. Massive shoutouts, links shall be in the description. Also, make sure you check out my other links if you guys would like to support me on a personal level, those links shall be in the description. So yes, in today's video, Spider-Man, Ironfist, I'm going to go over wins more often than not. I'm going to go a little more in depth. I'll try to, at least in an inverse setting. And also, I also went over Ironfist in a power scaling video, so if you guys would like to check that out, I have a link in the description. I'm going to briefly go over both combatants and basically just what they can do in inverse. So both combatants have their respective ways to take victory in this fight. Both have win cons. So for Ironfist, his best go-to in this fight would be his skill and chi attacks, such as his Iron Fist. We've seen Danny demonstrate with the Iron Fist that he can hurt the likes of Phoenix Force amped Namor, Hercules, Hulk, and other heavy hitters in Marvel. And the Iron Fist easily has Herald tier scaling. Iron Fist also has the skill advantage in this fight. I would definitely help him in this fight. He's far more skilled than Spider-Man easily. Iron Fist has fought against the likes of Shang-Chi, who is noted to be one of the best martial artists in the world, and the master of all forms of martial arts. So if this came down only to skill, easily Iron Fist would win in the skill department. Danny also fights instinctively and can use precognition in combat to stay a step ahead of his foe. Now, onto Spider-Man. Spider-Man has his win cons also. He has his spider webs, his spider sense, and his raw AP and speed. So in an inverse setting and in character setting, Spider-Man does hold back in character. He does have Superman syndrome, so he would fight Iron Fist while he's suppressed at the start of the fight. He always does this in character, he always starts off suppressed. Since they both pretty much have relative speed, Spider-Man has relative speed when he's holding back. So in this situation, I don't really see a necessary blitz at the start of the fight, nowhere near it. Pretty much they're both going to be just going to be going at it. It's going to be pretty interesting. They're both going to start scrapping. Spider-Man is going to pretty much, like in all his situations, he's going to use his precognition a lot against Iron Fist, especially against a lot of his attacks. Iron Fist will start to realize that pretty much Spider-Man is just precogging majority of his attacks. So Iron Fist is going to try and switch it up. He's going to try and be a little bit more unpredictable. He's going to try and use Drunken Style to tag Spider-Man with a pressure point, and he probably will, because you know Peter Parker likes to mess about when he knows he's winning. But we've seen this before, that Spider-Man does have resistances against like pressure points. He's tanked pressure points before from Iron Fist, so it would only just give him like a little love tap. It briefly stun him, and like once Spider-Man realizes he's being outpaced a little bit while he's holding back, when Iron Fist is starting to get the upper hand, Spider-Man will definitely turn up the juice. He'll start to turn up the pace and start fighting back a little bit more seriously. This will also invoke Danny to bring out the Iron Fist, and Iron Fist will attempt to punch Spider-Man. Spider-Man's precog will allow him to see the punch coming, and then Spider-Man will just then resort to webbing Iron Fist's arms and pretty much trying to incapacitate him and just like restrain him. But Iron Fist, with his chi, he just simply flex and just vaporize the webs pretty easily. So if it came down to like, even if like Iron Fist was restrained, I definitely think Iron Fist, with the potency of that chi, he'd definitely be strong enough to break out of it. Iron Fist will definitely begin to start throwing more chi attacks. He'll try and use area of effects in order to try and take out Spider-Man, because Iron Fist is pretty much just had enough. He's like, yeah, Spider-Man's starting to become more dangerous, he's starting to annoy me now, so I'm going to start going for area of effect attacks, you know, dragging chi punches, etc. This, however, will not touch Spider-Man, as Spider-Man has demonstrated to avoid such attacks before. Seeing how destructive the Iron Fist is becoming, Spider-Man will take this fight a lot more seriously than before, and he will then proceed to blitz Iron Fist and one-shot. The reasons why I see Spider-Man winning this fight more often than not is because Spider-Man has better precognition feats and layers with his spider sense, so he'd easily avoid a lot of Iron Fist's attacks. Spider-Man has even avoided area of effect attacks before, thanks to his speed and spider sense. The webs, in my opinion, would also help to slow down Iron Fist a little bit, but Danny can flex his chi to destroy the webs, as chi can affect you on a spiritual, physical and mental level. So Iron Fist himself, he would just easily be able to just flex his chi and rip out of it. But unfortunately, Iron Fist himself has admitted that Spider-Man is above him, and also when Spider-Man was facing against Power Man, Iron Fist is envious of Power Man's chi, as Iron Fist wishes his chi was more like Power Man's and more in tuned like Power Man's in order to get around Spider-Man and get around his precognition. And this same Power Man loses to Spider-Man and was easily subdued with the webs. Now, there's this pretty interesting simulation where Iron Fist fights a group of characters like Cap, Wolverine and Spider-Man, and Iron Fist defeats them casually. The clones, unfortunately, are nothing like the original characters. The key word here is nothing, which by definition means zero, like there's nothing to apply. So it was stated by Harry Osborn himself, the real Spider-Man is nothing compared to his dad's simulations. This is important because Norman Osborn was the one who designed the simulation that Iron Fist basically took part in. So unfortunately for this scaling, there's just no quantification to apply. It's zero. So unfortunately, the simulation on paper looks very impressive, but once you look down at the context of the whole virtue situation and the fight, it's just not impressive. You just can't apply it. There's nothing to it. Now, as for speed, Spider-Man has blitzed Wolverine consistently and has embarrassed him. The same Wolverine keeps up with Iron Fist, and Spider-Man is the better fighter in terms of AP and has better quantification for speed compared to other street tier characters, such as his laser dodging feat. And a lot of characters unfortunately don't scale to the serious Spider-Man, especially amped with willpower. There's only like a very small minority street tier characters that scale to a serious Spider-Man, and a lot of characters unfortunately don't scale to a serious Spider-Man, especially amped with willpower. This is Spider-Man when he's built too different. We've seen Spider-Man rock Scorpion's jaw off clean when he fights more serious. So just imagine what he'd do to Danny. And just to add on some more further evidence to prove that Spider-Man just does way better, like in the Shadowland storyline, Daredevil, aka Shadowland Daredevil, was effortlessly defeating the likes of Shang-Chi, Iron Fist and Wolverine. He literally ran through them. They couldn't do anything to Shadowland Daredevil. And while Spider-Man was the only one in there out of all of the street tier heroes to even put up a decent fight against Shadowland Daredevil, the Steel Serpent and the Iron Fist clashed, and Steel Serpent bent Iron Fist in pure hand-to-hand combat and would later go on to absorb his chi. This Spider-Man hits the Steel Serpent with an uppercut that was already more powerful than anything Iron Fist hit him with. So that pretty much just solidifies just how far above Spider-Man is in AP to Iron Fist. He definitely has the AP and the just the superior strength overall. Like, Spider-Man is just way too strong. So in terms of precognition, Spider-Man's precognition is better than Iron Fist's. It has improved over the years. Even as a low end, Spider-Man was able to precog a goon before he could even fire off his pistol, as Spider-Man was 10 steps ahead of him. Spider-Man can precog astral beings like Doctor Strange, and also precog outside of space and time. As time went on throughout Marvel, Spider-Man grew and grew with the usage of his spider sense. The spider sense can also allow Peter to run through all possible scenarios / outcomes, and even tell Peter which ones are the best ones for him to select. So there are better feats for Spider-Man in terms of precognitive abilities, and even if Iron Fist is able to hit Spider-Man with the Iron Fist, Spider-Man has taken chi attacks before, and he's also taken a nasty beating from characters who were way above him, especially during the X-Men vs Avengers event from a Phoenix Force amped Colossus, and Spider-Man was still able to keep fighting and get up and use his willpower and still clown and annoy the Phoenix 5. despite his nasty injuries. And in fact, if this was to happen to Spider-Man, if he was to get hit and rocked by an Iron Fist, this would literally just set Peter Parker off. Peter Parker would just activate, build different Spider-Man mode, and then he would just punch like the soul out of Iron Fist, unfortunately. So overall, I have to give this to Spider-Man. Better AP, just better stats, a lot faster, many ways to deal with him. Iron Fist has his ways to kind of keep himself in the fight. I definitely think this fight would be like a mid difficulty, mid plus. Definitely be a competitive fight, including and applying in-character arguments. But overall, I just have to lean more so to Spider-Man. Anyway guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Check out the links down in the comment section as well. Shouts to Splash, shouts to everyone else. But yeah, I'm gonna see you guys on the next one.